Well, hey, fifth grade, our Bible lesson for today, we're going to do a little bit different soap than what we would normally do. We're going to do kind of what I would call an abridged version, which is basically just, we're not doing the whole soap, but we're going to look at one passage from what we read yesterday from Esther chapter 1. And we're going to see if we can draw something, some lesson from that. And then I'm going to refer to a couple of verses in Psalms, and that's what we're going to focus on. So if we were to look back at what happened with Queen Vashti, Esther 1:12 says, but Queen Vashti refused to come. She refused to go to the king, and that was an action that you just didn't hear of back in that day, especially when it came to the king. You did what the king said. Sometimes we have to make hard decisions. That must have been a very hard decision for Queen Vashti. She was thrust into the situation that was beyond her control. And sometimes we are put in situations that are beyond our control. We're faced with a choice. Pressure starts to weigh the options of what we can do. Do we do what's right? Do we do what's easiest? Do we do what is safest, or do what everyone expects you to do? Now, Queen Vashti found herself in such a situation. Esther, as we'll see later next week, would also face even greater pressure, okay? Now, over the years, Vashti had been portrayed as both a rebellious wife or as a woman that just refused to obey the king's commands. But the fact is, the writer of the book of Esther doesn't explain her motive. Simply just says she refused to come. Esther 1:12 says, but that Queen Vashti refused to come. We can't say with certainty what Vashti's reasons were, but we do see that her decision had long-term consequences. We make decisions every day, and some are more important than others. What do our choices say about us? Let's take a closer look at Psalm 119, 9 through 11, and consider what the Lord wants to show you about making choices. How can we learn to make good choices? So let's look at this verse. Again, Psalm 119, 9 through 11. And it says, how can a young person, that's you guys and me, I'm going to say I'm still young. How can a young person stay on the path of purity? By living according to your word. I seek you with all my heart. Do not let me stray from your commands. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And I'm going to go one verse more. Verse 12 says, praise be to you, Lord. Teach me your ways. What I want you to do is I want you to look at those verses again, and I want you to contemplate or think about what that could be teaching you. How can we learn to make good choices based off of this? What is this saying? And I want you to put in your own words, based off of Psalm 119, 9 through 11, how can I learn to make good choices by using these verses here, okay? Again, sometimes we're faced with making really hard decisions. Just like Queen Vashti, we don't know her motives. We don't know where her heart was in all of this, but we do know that her choice led to some major consequences. So that's your assignment for today. Write it down. You can post it in the comments section below. And I want to hear in your own words how verses 9 through 11 of Psalm 119 can teach you how to make right choices.